setting tubular rivets is a little bit different than setting a double cap or a jiffy rivet. Tubular rivets, they have a cap, but you don't need it, and you have a post. So the difference is that this post can actually pierce through the leather without having to pre-punch it, your hole punch. So we'll start with the splash version. Let me explain. So the splash and the version with the cap. So the splash will pierce the leather, and this is going to spread it into a star shape. This version actually uses a cap. So, starting with the splash, we should first gauge our leather. So we're working with a little over about a 7¼ millimeter, about 18 ounces of leather. So again, you want about a millimeter or two coming through the leather. Just to check, I usually put the rivet up next to the leather. As you can see, you have about a millimeter, millimeter and a half coming through. So this component that screws into the top actually houses the rivet. It's going to hold it in place. All right. So this you just place on top of the splash. Start slow at first, and then you crush right through. As you can see, the cap sets, and you have the splash. So that's one variety of setting this sort of tubular rivet. The other version is with the cap. So you switch out the base part. You take a cap, place this in the base, and again take the post version, put that in a plastic housing. And that's how you set the version with the cap. The other way you can do it, if you don't have a press, is you can use the post and base. This screws right in. With this version, you do need to pre-punch the hole. And that's because you can't line up perfectly coming down on top as you can with the press. So we'll start with the splash. All right, so what you're going to do is you're going to have to line this up right on top. Take the mallet. 3 hits, you got the splash, and the same way with the cap version. Pre-punch your hole. About a millimeter coming through. Again, you have to line it up. And 2 to 3 medium hits. You got to make sure you're perfectly up and down, otherwise it's going to set at an angle. And there you have it. So those are the couple of ways to setting a tubular rivet. If you're using the press, it's going to be a little more efficient if you're setting a lot of rivets at a time because it self-pierces. You avoid the whole step of punching through. But overall, you have a different style of rivet, and that's how you set it.